You can't spell sports talk radio without Marc Daniels. This is the beat of sports.
Happy Thursday and welcome to the Beat of Sports. I'm Marc Daniels. Chris Vasquez is in the other studio. We call the control room there. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
I'm good, Mark. How are you?
We have an air conditioning update.
Air conditioning is for now fixed. There may be some added expenses in the very near future.
Chris said they put in a flux capacitor.
Yeah,
like
now I can
from
time travel.
Back to the Future.
Now I can time travel.
Really?
Yep.
By the way, we moved the camera again in the studio. If you're watching me,
I think that
bounced it around. Is this better?
I think that looks better.
Okay. Are we doing behind the scenes Thursday today?
You tell me.
All right. So the cameras will be left on during the breaks today, so you never know what's going to be said. So you do have AC working?
Yes. It took about 5 hours for my house to go from 92 down, but
did the guy do the old, I don't know how long this is going to last. Did you get that one?
Almost, actually.
Yeah.
But he did tell me my unit was 16 years old, so it's lived a good life.
Doesn't mean it's about to go on.
No, but I have noticed, especially during the summer, I'll have my AC set on like 76, and my house will still read like 79, 80. So it's on its last legs.
Yeah. When we had the new unit put in, I have two units, an upstairs unit and downstairs unit. When we had the new unit put in, it now, like, if you put it on 80, it feels like it's 68. So it's weird. Like at night, my wife and I like 70, 72, but that means we put the air on like 78. It's weird, but you know.
Anyway. I like a cool house because I always sleep hot.
Whoa, hey.
Yeah.
Hey, what goes on in your place is no business of ours. You know?
I sleep hot, so I sleep naked.
Whoa! Hey, a little bit too much.
Hey, you can work out naked. I can sleep naked.
Yeah. Tell you one thing, though, about being empty nesters.
Can we call the show The Beat of Naked?
I don't know. I don't snore as much as I used to. Then I lost all my weight and eating healthy, and it's going to clear up. But once in a while, if you're really tired. And, you know, we got 2 empty bedrooms. And the best air bed is the bedroom next to our bedrooms. My wife is gone. The first sign of anything. But I don't know. Does your wife snore?
On occasion.
Yeah, my wife swears she doesn't snore. Right.
My wife's actually sick right now, and she woke up. She's like, my throat is sore. I think I was snoring last night.
Yeah. And then if I play back on my phone because I record, she'll be like, oh, really? Yeah, it's you. You. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. On the program today, Cam Miller, we got games to actually preview. Real football games.
Yeah, we do.
Real football games. The college season actually begins tonight. FSU plays on Saturday, so we'll get to that. History lesson a little bit later on in the program today. We got college football, pro football, which we'll get to. We do have listener email update. You think you know what happened?
Oh, I have no clue.
Big decision for the couple that had $8,000 in cash.
Would it be wrong to say I'd be disappointed if they gave the money back?
It's whatever you think. I mean, I'll tell you the answer in just a little bit. And then there's another, I have one other email that I think is very interesting. So we'll get to that and much more coming up. Underway, the City Council of Tampa has 90 items on the docket today. The 80th item is a vote on the latest financial model for a race baseball stadium. Now, that's one part of it. Tomorrow, Hillsborough County goes. So here's the latest. Another financial model. Those guessing believe that they may have the necessary votes in both the city and county, but it could swing with one vote. So another round of votes in the Bay Area today about trying to move forward in the stadium for the Rays. If this one doesn't pass, then they do have problems because there's really two options. Well, three. One, you go back to Pinellas and Hillsborough, and rather St. Pete, and try to extend the lease. You relocate, or I guess you ask the Yankees about using their field for 29 because it would be hard to get a stadium built by them. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, all right, update. Listener email, new email, and then we got some college and pro football to get to. Here's everybody's favorite segment.
It's almost like an unwritten rule that when you become a father, you become king of the bad dad jokes.
What is Forrest Gump's password? One Forrest one.
Are you ready to laugh? We know at least one person is. Here's CB's dad joke of the day.
That's so great.
Forgot my mug today.
Would you pop open?
Tall boy of liquid death.
Flavor.
This is the Dr. Death.
Ah.
The Dr. Pepper flavor.
Like an OG.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going back. All right, Mark. Do you want one or two?
One.
One. Okay. What dating apps do trees use?
I don't know, Chris. What dating apps do trees use?
Timber. Like Tinder, but they're trees, so timber.
He genuinely thinks that's funny. He genuinely thinks that's funny. Yeah. Okay. Does that mean I get the second one tomorrow?
I'll give you the second one tomorrow.
Oh, wow. All right.
Do you want the stream to listen to you recording a spot?
Oh, wow. No.
No.
You can leave the. Can you turn the audio off?
I turn the audio off.
Turn the audio off. Yeah, because that spot doesn't start for a couple of weeks.
Sorry,
Kids, watch a professional records a spot, but you can't listen to it.
Sorry, guys.
You can watch, but you won't.
All right, you're muted.
What's good, locos? This is Angel from the Monsters in the Morning on Real Radio 104.1, and you're listening to the voice of UCF, Marc Daniels, and the Beat of Sports on FM 96.9 The Game. You want real sports talk? You got it right here.
Access the show on FM 96.9 AM 740 on the iHeart app, which is free to download. Make it a preset button. Listen anywhere in the world. Watch the live video stream, where today it's behind the scenes Thursday, so the mic and camera stays up. Guess you're able to watch me record a spot, huh?
I was gonna say we can watch, but we can listen to the spot.
Well, the spot doesn't start for another 2 weeks.
Great spot though.
It would have been one take. I was just short in time. So
Oh, good.
you should see the days that it doesn't take one take, kid. Watch the take 19. Watch the video stream at 96 on the YouTube page, 96.9 The Game Orlando. Click on the logo on the live button, and you can also access that stream on Twitter at 96.9 Game On. All right, ready for listener email?
Yes.
Okay, let's do the update one first.
Please.
Okay, so a few weeks ago we had the email where a listener's cousin lives in a Midwestern state, and he and his wife drove about 45 minutes to what was a yard sale, almost like an estate sale.
Mm-hmm.
And online were several items that were listed because they were higher priced items. And they saw this break front, like a wall unit, that they were interested in. They just moved into a house. So they drove and put in a bid and paid $1,300 for this break front unit. And upon getting it home, taking it out, it was a bit heavy. So they took the drawers out to make it lighter to move inside the house. And as I went to put the drawers back in, at the bottom of two drawers were manila envelopes. Open to the first manila envelope, and inside was $4,000 in cash. The second manila envelope they opened had a note on the top of it with $4,000 for a total of $8,000. And the note said, leaving you 10 grand, and signed, they didn't know who it was, and clearly had a pretty good idea. It probably was from the people that sold the piece of furniture to them. So the couple kind of panicked into what to do. Do they call them back? Are they the original owners? Whose money is this? So they sat on it and did nothing. Put money in the bank and decided we're not going to spend it, didn't know what to do. And then a couple of weeks later, get an email, not a phone call, because they'd registered their email for access at the items to be sold. And get an email from the person who had the yard sale who said, hey, I'd like to ask you about the item that you bought because I think there's something that in there that belongs to me. Again, the couple who purchased the piece of furniture didn't say anything. Apparently what happened is another family member, learning that someone sold this item, was told about this cash that was stashed away inside this piece of furniture. They wanted the money back. Chris, remember we asked Richard Hale, does the couple who got the piece of furniture have any legal obligation to give anything back? And mind you, they think there's $10,000. There was only $8,000 in the envelope, although the note said $10,000.
Yep.
And it turns out it was the father who passed away years ago. And someone else said, hey, I think your dad left money in there. And it was a stalemate. The seller said that they were going to get a lawyer involved, all sorts of stuff. Well, here's the update. You ready for the update?
Been dying for this.
So the update actually is almost 2 weeks ago. I've been a little bit busy with my own family things the last couple of weeks. Okay, what do you think happened? Before I tell you, and by the way, 10 o'clock hour, WYGM Orlando, WJR HD2 Cocoa Beach. So the couple who purchased it that has the $8,000 that they put into a bank did nothing. What do you think happened?
I think they ended up giving it back.
You think they gave all $8,000 back?
Yeah.
Final answer.
Yep.
Okay. So this is what they did. After receiving multiple emails, including one from the attorney that the seller hired, they got their own legal advice, and like Richard Hill said, they have really no legal obligation to give the money back. The couple decided to do the following. They sent an email back to the seller and said, this is what we're willing to do. Now, by the way, they could have said, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
They said there's $8,000 here. Whether you believe it's supposed to be 10 or not, there was $8,000. We're going to keep $2,000. The $2,000 is going to go towards the renovation to the home that we have. We're going to then donate $2,000 to a charity that is near and dear to our heart. It's a charity that helps pays for daycare and after school for young families in our area.
Okay.
We're going to give you $2,000 back and ask that you donate $2,000 to the charity of your choice. That's our terms. Take it or leave it. You have 72 hours to respond.
Wow.
The seller responds on the second day by saying, we expect to receive all $8,000. End of story. The husband of the buyers drives 40 minutes, puts $2,000 in an envelope, leaves it in their mailbox. Now, there's been no phone communication.
Mm-hmm.
On the drive back, sends an email that says there's $2,000 in your mailbox. You have a day to decide about the other $2,000. Otherwise, we will donate it to the same charity we give the $2,000 to. They responded by saying, we'll see you in court. And the buyers donated the other $2,000 to their charity. So they kept two,
Donated
$4,000, and gave the sellers back $2,000.
Wow.
They have a friend that's an attorney that says he'll gladly represent them. He says there's no case to be had here, but they admit they're a bit nervous.
Oh, nobody ever wants to go to court.
I guess the argument would be you acknowledge that there was money.
So you think they should not have acknowledged that there was money?
I don't know. I'm not in the situation. Part of me thinks that you just do nothing. Listen, I think the buyers can put their head down on their pillow and sleep well. You know?
I have no issue with it.
Yeah.
Again, to me, the seller, 9 years. You've had that.
Well, somebody in the family knew.
But they've had that.
I don't know.
The breakpoint unit for 9 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one in the family thought, hey, look here.
I don't know.
Your dad left you something.
There's some holes, and I don't know, but kind, generous people donated $4,000 to the charity.
Good for them.
They said you have 72 hours.
I have no issue with it.
Yeah. There are good people in the world.
Yeah.
There are good people in the world.
Does it make you view them any less that they donated money that technically wasn't theirs?
No, I have more respect because, I mean, they could have pocketed the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what did they take the $2,000 and put it towards house renovations? Why would I not believe them?
Yeah.
And they gave $2,000 back, which to me, it's $2,000 more than you knew the day before the sale.
Right.
So
on top of whatever they paid for the breakpoint unit itself.
Right.
So $3,300.
Yeah.
No issue with it.
Okay. Can I do the other email?
Yes.
So this comes in, 44-year-old wants to share what happened on a recent date and get thoughts, okay?
Okay.
He had met this woman through a friend, a company that he does business with. The two had talked before, decided to go out to meet for drinks one night, had a good time, and decided to plan a second date. He invited her to go to a Rays game in St. Pete, live in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
She said, yes, that would be exciting. They went to see a Rays game. Great conversation the way over, went to the Rays game, had a wonderful time. I always will pay for everything on any date that I go out. So the tickets I didn't pay for. I got complimentary tickets, and we sat on the first base side, had great seats. But I paid for all the concessions, and I paid for anything else, including appetizers and drinks that we had at a nearby bar before the game.
Mm-hmm.
On the way back, having a great time, I threw out a wild suggestion, hey, have you ever been to the Hard Rock Casino over there in Tampa? She goes, I've never been. I've had friends that have gone there. He said, well, you want to just go for a little bit? She said, sure. They pull over, grabbed a bite to eat. He said, this is about 10:30 at night, and said, let's go play in the casino a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He says he went and played blackjack. He was down about $200, went to play craps. He said when he got done with that, he was down about $80. After about an hour and a half, they decided to go play some slots. He put $200 in a slot machine.
Mm-hmm.
She sat and played the slots while he stood over her. Okay? And he said it fluctuated up $50, down $60, all sorts of stuff. He says there was $64 left of the $200 that he put in
Mm-hmm.
when they hit a relatively nice jackpot. He made $484. Happy and excited. They cashed out.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to the cashier, gets his money. They go in the car. He said something then began to oddly happen. For the next 10 minutes, nothing was said. I thought we had a great night. Everything seemed to be going well. Finally, I had to break the ice and said, "What's wrong? It seems like something's wrong with you." She said, "No, nothing." The typical back and forth of men and women when they say nothing's wrong and something's wrong. Then about 10 minutes later, after more silence, she finally broke and said, "I can't believe you did what you did." Startled, I said, "What did I do? Please tell me. I feel bad." And he said that she said the following: "You're not going to share any of the money that I won on the slots with me on this trip? I cannot believe that. It really makes me think twice about you." He was shocked and said,
Saw that
"Wait,
coming.
what?" And she says, "Yes, you're not going to give me any of that money," which he then said, "Okay, just, I'm curious, how much do you think you should get?" And she said, "At least half." Before he adds, he goes, "What do you think at this moment?" Go. You knew that was going there.
Oh God, yes.
Yes.
100%. She doesn't deserve. I mean, what did she do? She didn't do anything. She pushed a button. Not her money. He was right there with her. I don't give her anything. No. 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 Why
Nothing.
would I?
Nothing.
He does not owe her anything.
50857, by the way, on the text line.
What do you do?
So it's first off, I knew exactly as I was reading it where it was going
yeah.
too. Okay,
I think everyone saw where it was
right.
going.
So here's the deal. Exactly. I guess I'd follow by going, "So you think you deserve half? Okay, what's half?" Because if she says, "Well, it's $484," no. The 200 put in was mine. So the profit here is $284. You think you deserve half of $284 because it can't be half of $484 because there's 200 in. So I'd be curious what she thinks about that.
And if
Then I get it. His part is, and there's nothing wrong, by the way, with people that want to pay their own way. But he drove.
I was gonna say, if you
He got the tickets. He paid for apps and I'm assuming beers or drinks before. Concessions there.
So if you really want to nitpick,
Wait. More drinks than I guess they ate at Hard Rock. How much do you think you should get?
yeah,
Does anybody think that he should have given her some money?
no.
I'm asking you. I'm asking the audience. Does anybody think that he should have given her some
I'm
money?
answering for them. No, absolutely not. And now she just ruined what sounded like a great night.
He said it was a wonderful night. Laughed, had a good time and everything. And all of a sudden she goes silent 10 minutes into the drive. And by the way, I'm visualizing this. Back on 275 to I-4, the big loop around, that long journey before you get to Lakeland, and the silence and the awkwardness. And what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And then she...
nonstop traffic right there at like Disney.
Oh, I'm sure that happened. Yeah. She felt like she should have gotten something.
That kind of tells me that maybe she's just in it for some money.
I don't know. He does go on to say how the rest of it goes. But he did say, "What do you think so far?" And my
there's
first
more?
Well, no, he explains how the rest of the drive went.
Okay.
But she was shocked that he didn't give her some of the money.
What did she do? What did she do?
By the way, as a man that when we go to Vegas every summer, okay, the only thing that we do is play slots, and the only thing is I sit or stand above my wife. A little bit different when you're married and been together, married 32, together 35. It's all of ours, okay?
Yeah.
But I'm curious if anybody thinks that she had a right to any of the money and why you think that's the case. And then I'll tell you what happened.
Oh my. Okay. I got a text here.
That thinks that she should have got the money?
I agree with her. I get he paid for it, but I would have given her half even before she asked. He made that pay for everything bed. He should lay in it. She hit, not him. Gambling is somewhat luck, and she had it, not him. He was losing up until then. Asinine.
Different perspective.
Asinine.
Different perspective. If you believe
That's
that
a horrible
it's
take.
it's the hot hand. I mean, hot hand. They were down to $64 from 200. So there's a period that hand isn't so hot.
She was the one gambling the entire time.
Again,
right?
it's a second date. It's a second date.
It's going to be the last date.
And maybe if it's a sixth or seventh date and you feel like you got something developing here, second date. Kind of gutsy for her, though.
Cut ties.
Cut ties?
Cut ties. Not worth it.
You want the rest of what happened?
Absolutely.
To say the least, it was uncomfortable for the rest of the drive home. Silence continued for periods. When I tried to have a conversation and said, I don't think I want to talk right now, he literally, hang on. He says, I sat there saying, I'm sorry, yeah. How much do you think I should have given? She said something. I just can't believe that it ends up being nothing. In the last 10 miles before I'm not going to say where they live. Last 10 miles before we got home, I think the tension broke a little bit. We laughed a little bit, but I can still tell it was a sore subject with her. The night ended.
Don't do it.
The night ended cordially, each saying goodbye. I did text her the next day saying, I hope we have an opportunity to go out for a third time. She says, I'll think about it.
Oh, my.
He says 2 texts have gone without a return answer, and he believes that this is where their journey ends.
Good. Cut ties. Don't do it. Don't do it.
What he should have done is, after she didn't reply the second time, is that you just sent a selfie back with dollar bills all over the place. No problem, babe.
That 484 converted to ones and just
Yeah. Wow. Tough one.
tells me she's just about the money.
Maybe.
What did you do? You did not earn it.
So,
You did not earn it.
some guys would think that if you did give her something, maybe the night goes the way you want it to go and so forth. I don't
Are
know.
you talking about a Jed York situation here?
Hey, I'm not saying anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. But I mean, men think that way. Men think with something. So I don't know.
Again, what would you have done? Are you giving her
On a
Second
second
date.
I've been on a second date. You know,
Come on, it's 2026.
I don't date in 2026. I don't know. I have no idea. I
No. No.
I don't know. I might have given her something.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I may have given $100 bill or something. Yeah, probably.
Wow.
Yeah. You're a hard nothing.
Hard no.
Chris is a hard nothing.
That's essentially me gambling. She's just
Chris
pushing
is
the
a hard
buttons.
nothing in the way I go, hey, I'm going to get a hot dog. Can you wait here a second? I'll be right back. Get some for the ride home. Oh, you don't have any cash? So, again, you're a hard no. No. All right. I
No.
don't know what kind of guy you are. Wow.
I'm very respectful. It was a great time. And you want to make it about the money? You just ruined the night.
Well, she didn't ask him. She just kind of hoped that he'd be like, hey, happy in the moment, so far. Oh, here's something for you. I think that's what she was.
So
Okay.
she was expecting something.
Well, clearly she was. Yeah.
No.
It's a hard no for you.
He owes her nothing.
Okay.
He owes her nothing.
Okay. Chris is a hard no.
Ridiculous.
Chris is a hard no. All right. Understand where you're at. Cam Mellor in about 20 minutes. We'll look at week 0. Real games to talk with Cam about. Some NFL news when the Beat of Sports comes at you next. If you're somebody that looks at the market and goes up and down each day and you go, well, is that good? Is that bad for me? Maybe you don't even have a financial plan. Maybe you're worried because you've got kids that are headed towards college or thinking about things like weddings like I do, and you kind of wonder, how are you going to be able to afford all that? Well, I tell you about Nelson Financial Planning. I've been with them for almost 40 years. 40 years. And I trust them with my money. I've done that for years. They provided me the comfort to know that as I approach things like a second wedding for my youngest daughter after paying for a wedding 2 years ago, I got peace of mind. I mean, weddings ain't cheap, but they've done a great job in helping me plan for things like this. It doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter where you are when it comes to your savings. You can get a plan for your future. Maybe you've changed jobs a couple times in recent years, don't even know the status of your 401k, don't know how to take advantage of tax benefits to help you when it comes to your finances. At Nelson Financial Planning is what they do. Free, no obligation conversation with them. Sit down, help them help you as their certified financial fiduciaries. It's always free to sit and talk with them and get a plan that works for you. You can go to nelsonfinancialplanning.com or call 407-629-6477. Schedule that free conversation and get answers to your questions. Come up with a game plan. Let them help you. For over 40 years, Nelson Financial Planning has been delivering better results at a lower cost using a team approach that follows a proven process. Listen to Dollars and Cents with Joe Garris, my friend, every Sunday at 9 a.m. or anytime on your favorite podcast channel. Nelson Financial Planning offers securities through Nelson Ibis Brokerage Services, member SIPC, and FINRA.
You guys want to hear some texts that are coming
Yeah,
in?
let's do it.
Oh. All right.
Here's a good one. A person you and I know says, tell her, let's take this money and use it towards our next date.
Okay, I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
But it's still going all to him.
I'll hold it now in the meantime. I'll put it into our date pot is what we'll do.
If you're paying for everything, it's expected that you pay for everything.
Okay, but that doesn't answer the
No.
question, would you share money with her?
Since there's 284 profit, give her like 80, then write her off.
Milo's zero sugar iced tea to the drink of the day today. Free plug. What now? What now? 280 what?
Since there's a $284 profit, give her like $80 and then write her off. Never call her, see her again.
Write her off and never call her? Then what am I giving her $80 for?
She's shown that's what she's all about.
Gold digger.
They were gambling as a team. If he would have lost 280, should he have asked for half in reimbursement?
Hello. Good text.
Well, unless these guys, the texters are both on the stream too, they can't hear, like the listeners on radio can't hear what we're saying.
That's a good question, though.
Maybe not half, but a little something.
Wait, like a 5. Ready? They're counting 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Here's 5.
Can I get a 10 and 2 5s, please? Someone responded to me calling out their text. It's on him, bro. He's the idiot. Why invite on a second date to a gambling scenario where this may happen? He's still a rookie with the ladies.
Oh, I don't know that, man.
Nah.
Come on. I don't know that.
Okay. So someone also, this might be the same person. How about he sends her a text saying, I'll give you half the profit and use that to pay for another date?
I don't like it after the fact. It seems like you're begging. Like, it's got to be natural. Like, man, this is awesome. How about we do this? Let's take these winnings, and I cannot wait for our third date, and you're my lucky charm.
As a fellow gambler, he should have broken off like 100 for her luck.
As a fellow gambler? let's not assume that her email or, is known at the casino, for crying out loud.
Her luck.
Wait, what do you say now? As a fellow
gambler, he should have broken off 100 for her luck. Her luck won the jackpot. If they were married, it belongs to both of them. But they're not married. It's a second date.
Right. But I said I think I would have given $100.
In that situation, I would not have given her any money. But if she would have hit the jackpot that required that she signed a tax form, since she pushed the button, then I might have given her some.
Be smart like me. When that tax form comes, make sure your wife fills it out. That's what happened to us in last trip.
Oh, yeah?
I think I told you, right? We had a really nice jackpot.
Nice.
Pretty much paid for the trip, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they come and go, she'll fill it out. I know how to work that tax system, man. Yeah, I think I would have given $100.
She's right. Guaranteed to get laid if you gave her that half.
There you go. Hey, York, settle down over there.
What do you guys think on the stream?
Wait. Or he goes, well, I don't know. How much? Half, huh? Really?
Still more than what Jed York paid.
They wonder why men are the worst. Wow.
uh,
So he should have, I guess what you're saying is he should have, at the moment, suggested, let's put this towards future dates.
I'd be okay with that. That way, it's still like she's getting some without actually getting the physical money, but she's getting something out of that money.
Okay, but can we agree, though, that that it ain't 484?
No, agreed.
He put the
no,
200 in.
100%.
It would be the 284.
Well, if you want to nitpick, parking, concessions, drinks, apps, food, whatever.
That would have best. He goes, okay, there's $12 left after I just took out everything else that I paid.
Here's a 5 and a 1.
Just look at us an app. Okay? Yeah. Right, because there's that part that comes into play. The people are like, give half. Okay, so he paid for all this other stuff. I couldn't date in 2020. I don't know how you people do this.
Hey,
I can't do this.
I don't date.
Right. I don't know if people do it today.
I'm with CV. Maybe after the 6th plus date, maybe, but not the second date.
6 plus date. Yeah. Okay.
I'm old school and pay for everything in a traditional date.
You didn't answer the question though, if you would give her money or
No,
not.
not a second date.
I believe. I believe the man should pay for everything.
Yes, 100%.
Not that a woman can't, but I'm just saying, to me, you should go into the date assuming that you're going to pay for it.
You also have IDC here. As a fellow gambler, there's another one. As a fellow gambler, he should have taken her over to the craps table to keep that heater going. She was clearly good luck.
Okay. All right. I love that. As a fellow gambler, let's not assume our guy's got a habit here, okay?
I'm Troy McClure. You may have seen me.
I'm Troy McClure. You might have known me as Gambling Tom.
All right.
No prevent defense can stop this rhythm. You're locked into the beat of sports with Marc Daniels.
Hopefully you're on the stream. Chris was reading a whole bunch of text messages of the emailer about sharing the slot winnings.
A lot of people think they should give her money
with his date. My favorite part is I love those that text in like, as a fellow gambler. I'm Troy McClure. You might know me as Dice Tommy. Actually, there are a ton of text messages that did think that she should get something.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
I do agree with, hey, let's take this money. We'll use it for another date.
Yeah. But then if he backs out his expense, he goes, okay, parking tickets.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we got $12 for the next date. So what do you want to do? Oh, man. All right. Next segment, Cam Miller's going to talk some college football with us. Do you have any thoughts on the Pro Bowl now gone?
I can appreciate the NFL saying, you know what, this is just the event's done. It's dead. The only thing I don't like is it is cool when, families who don't get to go to NFL games, like when the Pro Bowl is in Orlando, kids got to see their favorite players, regardless of how they played. They still
but they made a mockery of the thing.
Yeah. No, 100%.
They made a mockery of the thing. I mean, I like when Orlando was part of any NFL event, but I think they ended up making a mockery of this.
It's on the NFL players who just said, screw it, we're not playing. We're playing hard. We're just going to go out there, half-assed it, and that's where we're at.
Okay, couple of quick NFL questions. Tonight, the Patriots play the Browns. So tomorrow, will there be any quarterback story, or it doesn't matter now? It's Deshaun
No,
Watson,
they've-
and then it's
they've
Drew
named-
Sanders, and then now the question is, does Dylan Gabriel win the number 3 job?
I think
Right.
the question is, how many quarterbacks do the Browns take into the regular season?
Yeah. Okay, tomorrow, I guess we can talk about this tomorrow, but I'm going to ask you now. It's a preseason game,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to play. What kind of reaction does Tua get from the Dolphin crowd?
I don't think they should boo him. I mean, you can't hold the injuries for the most, like the concussions. You can't blame him for that. And for however short it was,
But we do that. I mean, it's not fair, but we do that. For example, different extreme, but similar in some ways. Magic fans disliked Grant Hill because he crushed multiple seasons with an injury, and then another surgery and things like that.
but he was healthy before he got to Orlando. Then he played in Orlando,
Yeah,
and
I know.
then he was always hurt.
Yeah, the part that makes this, even though Grant Hill's salary was an anchor for the Magic, the problem for a Dolphin fan is, okay, you don't want to boo him because of the injuries, but they're going to boo him because of the contract. It's like, well,
That's not his fault.
I was going to say, but it's your team that opted to make that decision to move on from him.
It's not Tua's fault.
By the way, what a mess the Falcons' quarterback position is, too.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk quarterbacks a lot, right? And, I mean, the Browns, the Dolphins, you go, well, get Malik Willis. The Dolphins are looking for a number 2 quarterback in late August.
Is the Falcons starting quarterback entering the season on the roster right now?
Of course he is.
Is he?
Yeah.
You don't think they make a trade for like a Joe Milton? Maybe try and bring.
Start in week 1? Oh, my God.
You can't go into the season with what they got now, can you?
They are.
You still.
I mean, I
have an
think they believe that Penix is going to be ready in week 1. That if 2 is so bad, that at least now they've got 2 weeks to get Penix ready to play. Yeah.
I don't think. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a move. Try and bring in Joe Flacco, who worked with Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The Tua thing, again, it's a preseason game, so who cares? It's not a regular season game, but do you think Tua wants to? I don't even know if Tua wants to play.
I mean, he's got a lot of money coming his way.
No. In this game. This game.
Probably not.
Right? I mean, you don't want to be out there playing in this game. The Dolphins are not going to play anybody because they don't have anybody.
So what is he going to be? Cooper Rush?
Oh, he's the other quarterback there, right?
Yeah. Cooper Rush, and I'm looking at the depth chart. Jack Strand from, what is this, Minnesota Moorhead?
Yeah.
Doesn't even have a picture.
Yeah. I if I had to guess, I don't think Tua would want to play in this game for them. But
I mean, it's not his call.
imagine you go to Stefanski. Groin. It's just tight. They're a mess at quarterback, too.
Yeah.
Just an absolute mess. Those guys. I think he'll be booed by everybody. I don't know, but
It's soft if you're a Dolphins fan to boo Tua. Makes no sense.
yeah, but there's a lot of things that doesn't make sense with fans. And when you know your team's not going to be good, then you tend to just cling to things like that.
Just put the paper bags over your heads and you'll be fine.
Hard to breathe with those things, man. It really is.
Cut out a giant mouth hole.
Oh, man. Dolphins and the Falcons. Bucks, Jags also.
By the way, if the Dolphins still had 2 on their roster now, they probably win at least 4 games.
Did you see that receiving core that I texted you yesterday?
Oh no, I saw
Did you
it.
see some of the names on that receiving?
Do you see who's quarterbacking right now in
Yeah.
Miami?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tua's better than what they got.
Monday, somebody texted in about Night Talk. Night Talk with Scott Frost is back Monday at Miller's Ale House, Waterford Lakes at 6 o'clock. Let's do this again because it's a Thursday game. That's why the show's on Monday. Whenever the game is, go back 3 days. Saturday game, Wednesday show. A couple of Friday games, Tuesday show. So this coming Monday, we'll be back at Miller's Ale House this year for Night Talk at 6 o'clock. And we'll talk with Scott Frost, one of his assistant coaches and a player. You can join us at Miller's Ale House, Waterford Lakes. Had a great time last year. They did a great job hosting us. Looking forward to be back there. 6 o'clock on Monday. And then a week from tonight, UCF and Bethune-Cookman kicks off the new season. 7 o'clock kick. I'm not looking at any radar that shows any type of storm that may be brewing in a water system to our east. Because I already know.
Do not put that out there.
It's already out there. By the way, you know what the storm would be called?
It's
Dolly.
Oh wow.
Dolly. Not because of Pitbull and not because of the icon that just passed. It was the scheduled name.
Wow.
And at some point, a storm will be called that, but it's the start of the season. So, of course, there's going to be a storm in the Atlantic. Why? Because it always happens. Yeah. Let's hope nothing heads our way. Cam Miller with Week 0 games to talk about next. Let me talk to you about our friends at International Diamond Center. The Summer of Romance event is winding down. It'll end on August the 31st, and this is the incredible opportunity for you to get, of course, the best in jewelry. No one does diamonds or anything in jewelry like International Diamond Center, but more than just that. Spend $3,500 and enjoy a 3-day, 2-night romantic hotel getaway plus a $100 Visa card, and you can choose from a dozen cool cities for that. Spend $5,000 and sail away in a 3 or 4 night luxury cruise for 2, or go all in and spend $10,000 or more and get a 5-day, 4-night stay at an upscale tropical all-inclusive resort in one of 4 breathtaking countries. This will end on August the 31st. To learn more and to see the details and restrictions, go to shopidc.com. The giveaway ends on August the 31st, so take advantage and head on down and visit our friends at International Diamond Center. All right. Chris is going to the bathroom, so it's just me. I'm looking up something. Da, 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 da. Got week 0 coming up. Huh. Hey, all right, I'm going to say this right now.
Talking with Cam Meller.
What?
I'm talking with Cam Meller right now on the stream.
Yeah.
Talking Maine and Towson.
He knows where it's at, man.
Can't stop the Maine Bears.
Maine Black Bears.
Right.
We played them over the years.
All right. 40 seconds. Here we go.
This segment is presented by Bowegan's Beer Company. Love data? Love analytics? Let's take a deeper dive into both as we talk to Cam Meller,
What you know is very limited, and what you don't know is limitless.
the Chief Analytics and Data Officer at Pro Football Network. You can follow Cam on X or Twitter at Cam Meller.
Boys and girls, the long wait is over. The off season, which is fun. We get set for the draft and do all that stuff, but now we actually get games. We are 7 hours and 20 minutes away of the college football season beginning, and Cam Meller joins us. Look at the giddy smile on his face. Huh? No one's fired up for Maine Townsend coming up at 6 o'clock tonight.
How can you not be excited for this, for that, for the FCS football slate that is Thursday night, but ultimately week 0 is upon us. Ireland gives us another okay kickoff game. We'll see what that comes of. But yeah, no, football's back. It's the best time of the year.
4 6 o'clock games tonight. Maine and Townsend kicks up. Mercyhurst and Youngstown State also at 6 o'clock tonight. So, yes, let it play. Can I do this before I do ask you about some games? What are your thoughts and what you've watched of this whole thing of guys that are on NFL rosters that are trying to come back to college? What conferences are trying to do? The NFL even saying, hey, you can't come back and sign with somebody. I don't know if you have any thoughts, but I'll give you an opportunity to share if you do.
It's one of those where it's like I almost want to say it's the NFL's problem. So as a college football guy, it's not, but now it's infiltrated college football. And so it does feel very unfair, not just to the teams that maybe don't get those NFL kids that practiced and went into an NFL workout room. And I mean, did off OTAs with these kids, training camps with these grown men in their professions. It's not fair to then the kids that say who's going to have their jobs taken that also went through their college programs, like an LSU tight end. Is Daquan Wright going to take snaps from this guy who, otherwise maybe would have not been at that program? And so it doesn't level the playing field. It makes it even worse at the top. And so I do think that something has to be done. It shouldn't be able to happen at this point, basically.
If Daquan Wright doesn't battle injuries last year, does he get drafted?
I would say so. I mean, he was one of our top graded tight ends the entire time. He wasn't one of those like 3-down fast tight ends where he's going to run block and do pass protection if necessary. But he was one of those guys who I wouldn't have had any issue with him being a stand-up wide receiver 3 almost. He was that good on the receiving end. And so I do think that not battling injuries, he would have absolutely been like one of those flyers on day 3 because you bank on that receiving prowess and just throw him in as one of those move tight ends to get him in the lineup and use his receiving skills. But yeah, I do think he would have been drafted, and we wouldn't be having the discussion around him coming back to school.
Tommy Castellanos, the center of Texas Tech. I guess if he stays eligible, teams adding a quarterback a week before they play a game. I don't know, but any thoughts on that one?
Say what we will about Tommy Castellanos. I think we know what you get with him, but I think it says all we need to know. It says enough about what they think of Will Hammond and where he is in his recovery from injury. It doesn't seem like Texas Tech is ready to unleash him and have Will Hammond be a full 100%. So it does worry me some that we're a week away from them starting their season and then them still apparently not having an answer at quarterback. We'll see if Castellanos, like you said, stays eligible, but also actually sees the field and how well Hammond can perform.
All right, let's get to some games. It'll be for Ireland for the first one, I don't even know what you make of North Carolina. Forget the off-field stuff. I don't know if they're any better. Maybe just because it's year 2, but you know this roster better than me against a TCU team that brings in a Harvard quarterback that had success. So Josh Hoover goes to Indiana, and some like TCU. I think that they're probably going to be a fairly decent team in the Big 12, maybe not competing with Texas Tech. But your thoughts on UNC and TCU?
I think there's a lot to like about TCU, like you said. I don't know if they're the upper echelon of the Big 12, but I don't think it matters against a team who's in the bottom tier of the ACC here, I think, as well. And so I saw it was 6.5 points for TCU. I think we're giving the benefit of the doubt of Bill Belichick being the head coach, which is shocking to me. We know what Billy Edwards is as the quarterback. Failed experiment at Wisconsin, even at his best at Maryland before that. It didn't really seem like this is a guy that's going to elevate talent. And this is a roster that needs to be elevated by a quarterback or by somebody other than Bill Belichick. I think that there's a lot to like maybe about some of the defensive pieces and maybe some of the skill players. Demon June specifically, Jordan Shipp, a wide receiver, but I don't think that there's enough on this roster to compete with what Jaden Craig is going to be able to put up offensively for this TCU offense.
San Jose State and USC. I don't expect a challenge here for those that haven't seen Jaden Mayabaga and watch him. By the way, his brother's the backup center at UCF. What's the progression for him now from last year to this year?
So we look at what is stable from year to year, I think, and what we saw last year is a guy who diagnoses defenses really well, can hit every level of the field, has enough creation capacity to make things happen if pressure does get on him, and then he's unfazed by this pressure as well. So there was a lot to like with him when he took over at UNLV and then taking over at USC, and he's a Heisman candidate at this point. And I do think that they need to come out, USC does, and actually look the part and look the 30-point favorite that they are and walk over the San Jose State team who's ushering in Luke Weaver, Hawaii transfer at quarterback. And so Mayava specifically, though, a lot to like about his game. I do think he's one of those Heisman candidates that we should be talking about a lot more.
I don't know about you, but when they announced it made sense, NC State and Virginia, because I think Brazil, turns out that game's not going to be played in Brazil. It's going to be in Charlottesville. This is an interesting quarterback matchup here. C.J. Bailey, an NC State. Bo Prabila is a really interesting guy. He was part of the discussion among quarterbacks UCF pursued last year. Now he's at Virginia. Some thoughts on what is a big early ACC game?
big early ACC game. Should it have been played in Brazil at all? I don't know why we're doing it. It's not like the NFL with brand names to put teams like NC State and Virginia in Brazil. Glad we're back home. Glad we're in Charlottesville for this game. But yeah, it's the quarterback matchup is unique. CJ Bailey is a ton of potential and a ton of hope for this NC State team. Can he be the guy that sort of brings this NC State team into the upper echelon and actually compete with the likes of Clemson, SMU, and Miami for the ACC this year? I'm not 100% certain he's that guy to do it. And is Bo Prabula going to be the guy that we saw that was able to throw the ball downfield for limited sample sizes at Penn State, or is he going to be the guy that sort of struggles and withers under pressure that we saw in his 1-year stint at Missouri? So to me, a lot to answer for both of these quarterbacks. Can Bailey exceed these expectations we have on him? And can Prabula actually bring this Virginia team together? Because it feels like all they've been lacking over the past 2 or 3 seasons, even with a really, really good defense, is a quarterback that can elevate talent.
I'm going time-wise for Saturday. North Dakota State will play their first game as an FBS member in the Mountain West. They get Jacksonville State, who I saw last year that's got some dudes, but now those dudes have gone on. Cam Cook follows Rich Rodriguez. After playing last year, he goes to West Virginia. And for North Dakota State, is Nathan Hayes in the line of Bison quarterbacks that just produces?
I think he will be. I think it'll be a little bit of, they're going to have growing pains. This isn't like a Cole Payton or a Cam Miller who's going to be incredibly experienced and able to usher them into this new level of football, playing FBS opponents and playing 12 games a year, 11 games a year against these FBS opponents. It feels like they needed one of those experienced veteran quarterbacks to do so, to bring them in. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have some growing pains. I do like what Caden Creel, Jacksonville State's quarterback, is able to do on the ground. I don't know if he's one of those world beaters with his throwing ability. I think he lacks a little bit there as well. But this is one of those old school college football quarterback matchups that expect both of them to use their legs a lot more than they will the rest of the season at this point. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a dual 100-yard performance from each quarterback on the ground in this one. So I do worry for North Dakota State not having an experienced guy like they had previously as they come make the step up. But at least they're at home in this one to start their FBS career.
I can't mock it because years ago UCF needed a conference and joined the MAC. When I think MAC football, I think Sacramento State and Eastern Michigan in Ypsilanti on a Saturday evening, and get yourself fired up as Sacramento State, again, the latest to try to make that jump into FBS. I know you probably know a couple guys in this game, so what should I know about Sacramento State and Eastern Michigan?
So it's Carson Conklin, the quarterback, and this is the quarterback who once was Sacramento State's quarterback, left, and now he's back after. So to me, I mean, it's the quarterback matchup there is a unique one. Is Conklin, can he be this guy? I don't know if 100% this is a quarterback that you want to bank your hopes on being the guy who can bring your team forward. And then to me, Eastern Michigan has plenty to like. Chris Creighton's always going to have that team ready to play ball. And I think if you look at what they're able to do on the offensive line, they're always going to have guys that are one of those sneaky NFL draft guys that maybe you like or could stick on a roster as an undrafted free agent. They have a couple of offensive linemen. They have a couple of defensive linemen as well, who I think could be those guys or at least make the P4 transfer. So I do like Eastern Michigan to sort of give them a wake-up call that says, hey, this is what MAC football actually is about. And we're talking about this in August, so how fun is that?
All right, Hawaii and Stanford. Mike Alejado last year played fairly well for Hawaii quarterback. Stanford believes that they're better. I'd like to think that maybe they're a little bit better, but this is an interesting. I think the line's only 3 in this game. Hawaii and Stanford.
Yeah, if you're a Stanford fan, and there's probably not a lot of those. Let's face it, football's not necessarily their forte since Christian McCaffrey, since Andrew Luck, and yes, Andrew Luck's back in the building. Can Andrew Luck really make something happen out of Davis Warren, the Michigan quarterback, who felt like the Wolverines' offense was stuck in mud when he was the quarterback and couldn't even beat out a kid like Alex Orji for the starting role eventually, and keep his role there? So I don't know if this Stanford team has enough with Tavita Pritchard as head coach as well, both quarterbacks. So Davis Warren has the chance to maybe behoove himself and learn something or two from some talented quarterbacks with Luck and Pritchard. But I don't know if this is the team that actually is going to be able to do that. And if you look at Alejado, this is a guy who left-handed quarterbacks are always going to be a little bit more difficult to game plan for because you just don't see him very often. But he's also got a lot of ability to scramble, make something happen out of the pocket, and then throw the balls on the run very well. And so I do like Hawaii in this game actually over Stanford.
I'm going to ask you the football stuff, but do you know what New Mexico State pays Oklahoma State for the right to call their they're the Aggies, but their mascot's Pistol Pete, which Oklahoma State has? Do you know what they pay yearly for the trademark use?
No, and now I'm incredibly interested though.
$10.
Okay, that's it.
$10.
That's it.
$10. It's a national trademark agreement, and they get it for $10. Having said that, before I ask you about FSU, is there anything that one should know about New Mexico State?
Trey Hedden, the quarterback, Furman transfer, did what he did and threw for almost 3,000 yards last season as well. Big kid, could have had some FBS offers coming out of high school, but went that route and then his transfer gives him a chance to actually maybe put up some points against the Conference USA defense or two. So watch him, see how well he acclimates to playing in a big boy stadium like Noah Campbell.
Okay, for Florida State, it's the Labor Day game against SMU that is, to me, the most important game. A 2-0 Florida State team, to me, can go lose at Alabama respectably, Central Arkansas, Virginia at home, and at 4-1, Mike Norvell then is in a better spot by they play at Louisville, at Miami, and home for Clemson. But that's a big if of getting by SMU. So now let me ask you, what would be the things that go right that allows FSU to become, let's say, an 8-win team this year?
It's going to have to come down to Marc Daniels. And we always talk about the quarterbacks. This case specifically here, I think there's a lot of pieces on the FSU defense to like. They did a lot at the second level with the linebacking core and recouping what they lost, and then getting a guy like Nehemiah Chandler from South Alabama at cornerback as well. He's a lockdown corner. And so I think you have in the vein of almost like a Jerrion Jones did and then made his way to the NFL. I think Chandler follows that same route. With what they have on offense with Danzy and Boggs and even the talented freshman, and then obviously Juice Robinson being who he is, Marc Daniels at his best was a better, more equipped downfield passer than Jordan Travis was. And so I think, unfortunately, at his worst, he's James Blackman with EJ Manuel's ball skills in the pocket. And that's terrifying for FSU fans that watch EJ Manuel put the ball on the ground and in defenders' hands far too often, Blackman being who he was at quarterback. So the upper echelon that Daniels has, though, he's the guy who I think can unlock Deuce Robinson downfield. And so it's all going to come down to Daniels and whether he can take that next step and showcase what he has talent.
I'll say this, and I don't know if Ashton Daniels is going to be good. He's 5-18 as a starter, but if I was to be somebody to defend him, take a look at the coaching situations when he played. Okay, at Stanford, who knew what was happening with that program? Okay, at Auburn. So in some defense, he was trying to quarterback on staffs that were in panic mode, right?
And rosters that were almost in shambles as well. Yeah, it's almost like you can't take anything. Like even so, it's like Malik Washington right now at Maryland. That staff at Maryland, they're on their way out. They've got a foot out the door, and so I wouldn't be surprised if Malik Washington does really well this year for Maryland, and then transfers, and then all of a sudden becomes a world beater as well. Daniels himself, there are some throws at Stanford. It's like back when Tyler Shuck was playing in mop-up duty for Oregon, and you saw what he was able to put forth. Some really talented throws. He's got a lot of drive on his balls. He's got a lot of ability to put them into tight windows as well. It's just, who knows what offensive scheme he was working on and working with. So if Norvell can keep him happy and keep him upright in the pocket with that offensive line in front of him, I think that there's a lot of hope and potential, I think, there. It's just been very frustrating to study him over the past few years.
Some will think us to the names that North Carolina and TCU is the best game of the weekend. I think you'll agree. I think it's Memphis UNLV, which is worth staying up late for on Saturday. Yeah, you're touching your heart right there.
If you're not watching that game, you're not a fan. You're not a friend of mine at this point. So Marcus Stokes, West Florida transfer, just won the job at Memphis. So if Charles Huff is going to believe in a quarterback,
he added Randy Shannon a couple of days ago to the staff, by the way.
Yeah. And so he beats out Aaron Noland, the former number 3, whatever he was, quarterback at OSU, at South Carolina as well. And then we have, of course, UNLV. Who knows what they're doing with Dan Mullen?
Couple quarterbacks, right? Orgy and Jackson Arnold. He's going to play both?
Jackson Arnold. I mean, we're talking high pedigree quarterbacks here, not playing fully. Aaron Noland and Jackson Arnold, guys that were in the top 10 of their quarterback classes. And Alex Orgy playing. Who knows what the UNLV team. I don't know if I trust Mullen to run a 2-quarterback situation. My old adage is if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. So I like Stokes going forward. But Memphis, I'm very excited to see what they can do on offense.
It's week 0, and the start of the season is here. We got games in 7 hours that officially start the 2026 season. At Cam Miller on X or Twitter. Support the great work they do. Go to the website, check out everything. The NFL season, you can do predictors, you can do everything. to get your palate all tasty for football. This is fun. Enjoy a week 0. We'll talk again next week. Appreciate it.
Will do. Thanks as always.
Cam Miller. See the cat come across the table right there?
I did.
Yeah.
Gotta love the cat.
Cam Miller. Rattling off names in Eastern Michigan that I should know about.
Why don't you know them?
Sacramento State and Eastern Michigan. Isn't that crazy or what?
Maine, baby. Maine Towson.
Maine Towson among the 6 o'clock games tonight. Again, next year, the calendar allows you to play games. So next year, it'll be week 1, and you'll see a large number of games. You know why? Because teams will want the double bye. Because you could use it and play 12 games in 14 weeks. And it's not official, but I've heard Scott Frost say multiple times he'd like to be able to do that to get the extra bye week. You look at that bye week maybe after game 3 or 4, then you really like one maybe after game 8 or 9, and to get some guys healthy. So next year, when week 0 becomes week 1, the week before Labor Day, you're going to get a big schedule of games. 11 o'clock hour kicks off with the news next. From game day uniforms to everyday laundry, Speed Queen is built to handle the toughest loads, and you can find commercial-grade performance and legendary durability at Southeast Steel Appliance Warehouse, Central Florida's largest Speed Queen dealer. You'll find the best prices. You'll find the best selection, the best customer service. So if you want to upgrade that washer and dryer, this is the time to do so with Speed Queen products. Say hello to Stu and the great staff down at Southeast Steel Appliance Warehouse on West Amelia Street in downtown Orlando, because at Southeast Steel, you get the best deal.
Getting the log set up right now for UCF.
Yeah. By the way, yesterday, I know you were busy, so I didn't bother you with this. The only text I sent was asking how the AC was going, right? So yesterday, it happened at 4:28. The first birthday text to Greg Rubel at BYU. And it was on. Okay? In typical Daniels fashion, I wait till about the 11th or 12th moment, get in there. But, again, just to prove, if it's somebody's birthday, how many play-by-play voices are left in a 16-team? 15, right?
Right.
Okay. So, hang on. I had this. I want to make sure. Okay. You want to guess how many text messages were sent? By the way, Greg is the nicest person in the world. He responded to every person. Okay? But do you want to guess how many text messages?
Before you responded?
No. If it's 16 play-by-play guys and one person's birthday, you think, okay, there's 15. But I told you how many people have gotten in this text chain?
Oh, yeah. Like you said.
There were 31 different people. 31 different people. Good grief. Here, I'm going to show you. This is where it starts. Right here's where it started. Okay. Wait for it. There's Daniels right there. There's the Daniels blue. It's just out of control.
Wow.
Yeah. It's out of control. Oh, man. And the that fantasy football league with Kurt and the guys at Maxine's, that happened yesterday. Who's going to be there on Saturday morning?
Are you going to be there?
No, I'm at UCF practice. And why can't you just say yes or no? You know,
You don't what? You don't like the reasoning?
I don't like emojis. Like, I mean, come on.
2026, Daniels. We got to be cute.
Oh, God. I gotta be me. What else can I be? Oh, man.
All right. I think I got the login.
Let's really do the news.
Yes. Now it is time to do the news.
But now it's time for the news.
11 o'clock hour, WYGM Orlando, WJR HD2 Cocoa Beach. The news here, the top of the hour. NFL, the final weekend of the preseason will get going tonight. The NFL announcing yesterday that the Pro Bowl will no longer be played. They'll name a Pro Bowl team, but the game, which became a flag football game, will not be brought back. NFL preseason games tonight: Steelers, Bills, Patriots, and Browns, Niners, Raiders, Rams, and Chargers. By the way, I believe the number is 26 Niners that are hurt now.
Can't stop the substation.
Meanwhile, in less than 7 hours, the college football season will begin. There are a number of games tonight involving FCS teams and Division II teams that will play. The first Saturday for Week 0, or the first Saturday of the season, will kick off at noon with North Carolina and TCU playing in Ireland. Florida State will take on New Mexico State from Doak Campbell, set for a 7 o'clock start on Saturday. Elsewhere in the world of sports, Shohei Ohtani is going to throw a bullpen session tomorrow. If all goes well, he could start Sunday against the Tigers. He's not pitched since July the 3rd. Baseball about to head into the final month of the season in September. The Braves beat the Dodgers last night. Fun game to watch. Walk-off hit by someone who hadn't had a hit in 3 months.
0 for 30.
Kyle Schwarber hit his 40th home run. 4th time in his career that he's hit the 40 mark. LIV notified a number of employees that they will no longer be employed within the next couple of weeks, as it appears that golf tour begins to wind down. The question now is what happens to PGA players, to former PGA players that would like to come back. By the way, on-course earnings at LIV, remember their purses were inflated. John Rahm, $105.6 million. Joaquin Neiman, $82.6 million. Taylor Gooch, $74.5 million. This is on top of what these dudes were paid. That's why the PGA Tour and players don't have any sympathy to just let these guys walk back in without any penalty. Today in Tampa, back to baseball for a second, the Tampa Bay City Council, as we speak, meeting underway. Among the many items on the agenda is a vote for the current financial model to have a stadium built for the Rays. It's not just their vote. Hillsborough County Commissioners meet tomorrow, so it takes two different votes to advance this. It's close. Apparently there's like a swing vote on both councils that could kill the thing. And we'll see if the Rays can get this across the finish line or not. The Big 12 formula yesterday moved forward on a new rule. Any sport that you've entered to become a professional in that sport, by declaring to give up your eligibility in college, by signing any deal, you cannot come back and play. It's incredible how fast they were able to do this. Can't get anything done otherwise, but man, we can get this going again.
I don't know why this was ever a thing in the first place, but
well,
whatever.
Yeah. Little League World Series, because of rain, moved up games earlier today. After today, we'll be down to the two teams playing for the U.S. Championship and the two teams for the International Championship. Those games will be played on Saturday, and then the Little League World Series finale will be set on Sunday. By the way, Dodgers and Braves wrap up their series tonight. Yoshinobu Yamamoto with a 12-7, 2.61 ERA against Chris Sale, 12-9, 2.20. That's a pretty good pitching matchup tonight.
Yeah, the Braves need to get Sale some run support. They haven't really supported him all that much his last handful of starts.
Yeah. Well, the tough guys of UEFA who said that they were not going to send any other teams to FIFA competition in protest of Gianni Infantino's plan to sell off bits and pieces of the World Cup. Remember, they were adamant. Letter. Unity. Not going to happen. You know. Now they're going to send some teams to FIFA competition because they feel like they've got a better understanding in writing that there'll be nothing done to sell off bits and pieces of the World Cup. They're still adamant about a change in leadership, wanting Infantino out, but when in doubt, UEFA caves. Always have, always will. Once they get the money that they're looking for, not that big of a deal with them. Not that big of a deal. Honey Deuce. Not the name of an adult film star, Chris.
Where my mind first went.
It's the famous drink at the U.S. Open. How much do you think the Honey Deuce drink cost?
Is it alcoholic?
Yes.
Okay. $25.
23. Since 2007, it's up 92%. Yeah. Which is about the same as what prices for the U.S. Open are when it comes to getting in there. But they moved the mixed doubles event to kind of this, take the top players, match them up, get Alcaraz play with Serena Williams and so forth. And you know what they did the last few nights? They packed 20,000 people into Arthur Ashe Stadium. And remember, people talk about the NCAA basketball tournament generates, I think it's still like 80 some odd percent, maybe close to 90, but mid 80s of the revenue the NCAA makes. That's where they make the money. They don't make the money in the college football playoff. They're not connected to that. So their budget comes from the college basketball tournament, which is why expanding to 76 and more TV rights. The USTA, 97% of the USTA's budget comes from the U.S. Open. Okay? It funds the USTA, and that includes the center here at Lake Nona and the youth tennis pro. It's 97% of their budget, and it's worth hundreds of millions of dollars to them. So they keep jacking up tickets. People still keep coming. It's an event to be seen in New York. That's it for the news. History lesson coming up at the bottom, about 11:35. Some college football on this opening day of the season next. So you found the home that you've been looking for. You got to close quickly because it's going to help you with some leverage in the deal. You need someone that can help you with that mortgage to close quickly. And this is where my good friend Scott Stinson comes in, because if you've got to close quickly, Scott and his team at Acrisure, they've done this before, and they can be there to help you. So you're not just looking for a mortgage partner, you're looking for someone to work on your timeline and make sure that everything you need, every document, every I, every T is dotted and crossed, and that's what they do among many things. So if you're looking for that mortgage partner and you've got a situation you're going to close quickly, please think of my friend Scott Stinson. And by reaching out to Scott, just making that initial contact, call, and mention my name, Marc Daniels, Zabita Sports 96 on the game. Get up to $2,500 off your closing costs. You can call the office at 407-377-0305. Go online at WGLoans.com and just do a search of Scott Stinson, and you get all his contact information there. Scott Stinson, his team at Acrisure Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, and MLS number 1528559. Stinson team, and MLS number 319684.
I'm actually going to mute the mic so I can upload this spot real quick.
football, really today, week 0 starts with a number of games involving FCS teams. So what I try to do, I try to take my glasses off when they're off. Sign of age, old man. I just did this. If you're watching on the stream, I just try to grab something that's not there.
We've all been there.
So we allow me a second to kind of, I guess this is going to be therapeutic. Okay. And it hit me last night. I was preparing for next Thursday's football game for UCF.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a routine. I've talked about this, that based on the day that it is, I do certain things. With Thursday game, I like teams practice schedule. You move it back, and coaches talk, well, Thursday, Saturday, so Wednesday, Friday. Okay. So last night, I'm sitting down. It's only Wednesday before next Thursday, but I'm starting to do a little bit of the routine stuff. Got our broadcast log that we're working on, and then the game stuff, like for me. Memorizing what I project to be the players likely to play, their number, name, where they're from, try to get a tidbit about them. And then when I begin to do my stat sheet and depth chart and so forth, and it did hit me a little bit last night in a good way. I am as guilty as anybody in the last blank months, and you can put that in there, you can probably put years too, of all of these things that we've covered and talked about and have screamed and moaned and everything. And I don't take any of it back about eligibility rules and about gambling investigations and about breakaways and about playoff formats and about the portal and about paying players and about all that stuff because they're big stories. And I can admit sometimes we do it too much. I'm guilty of that. Sometimes it's complicated. Sometimes I try to get it right by bringing people on to make it simple, and it ends up being more confusing. And we're going to cover those stories. But this is what I also do know that we're all guilty of. I love a good mint chocolate chip ice cream, Chris. Okay? And once in a while, I'll treat myself. Okay? You don't overdo it. You got to know how to treat it and so forth. I love nice, not hot, but warm bread before a great meal. There's nothing like sitting down. Like when my wife and I were in New York, we ate at this incredible Italian restaurant that had seats for 24 people. And they brought out the freshest, best bread that was warm, that had perfect butter, olive oil, and it was great. Okay. But every person has 3 trigger foods. For me, I identified them years ago, it was chocolate, it was bread, and pasta. And back then I had to eliminate them, and now I have balance on when to use them. The point is you can get addicted to stuff, but you got to know how to balance it. Every year in college football, when a new season starts, you have hope for a year. Even, in Miami, the expectation is to play for a national championship. The team is built that way. And Miami, there's a new coach, Florida, there's a new coach, a new level of excitement that they got it right this time. Nobody knows if they did, but they got it right this time because the offseason's got energy and buzz, and you've got a new toy at quarterback, and, the fan base is rallying around it. Even at Florida State, where the majority of its fan base is rooting against its coach, there's hope that should they win and look good on Saturday, you'll talk yourself into thinking, well, they're going to beat SMU. And like I said when Cam Miller was on, hey, they might be 4-1 when they get to Louisville and Miami and Clemson and have hope for season. At UCF, there's a new quarterback, and new seasons bring new hope. And and I'm part of the they and you're part of the they. Not as much as the ones that are really guilty. But they've tried to change this thing called college football. And it's changed. The Big Ten's got 18 teams. The Big 12 has 16. The SEC has 16. Rivalries don't exist of schools that Florida used to play every single year that now they haven't been on the schedule in a while. We may even move the Michigan-Ohio State game from 12 noon on the final Saturday of the regular season because in a 2014, you don't really want to play that game, and then you might lose and hurt your seeding. I mean, we may have Florida State God forbid, not be played, but maybe September's a better date because you don't want to lose late in the season. I mean, we're going to probably end up doing stuff like that. But in the end, they still don't take away what matters to us. The show's not even the same, but there's still something cool that when you wake up and game day's on at 9 o'clock, no matter what the hell McAfee's doing, or Nick Saban's cussing on air, or Herb Street's got the latest dog on the set, there's still something amazing about wherever they are and the crowd and the flags that are waving. And if it's a cool day and it looks like it's gray and a misty rain, and then there's a noon kickoff and you're going to sit down and watch all day long. And if you're going to a game, you still love tailgating, you still love seeing your friends, and you still love going to the stadium where some of you have had season tickets for decades passed down through generations, and you've gotten to know the people and their families around you. You pay more for your ticket. You're asked more to donate for the seat location you've got. You got to pay more for parking. You got to be part of this group, that group. They're begging you for money to pay for players, but you still, for some reason, keep coming back. And you shouldn't be faulted for that. People say, well, college football will change when the fans stop showing up. That's ridiculous. You shouldn't have to stop showing up. Some of you have reached a point that you no longer support your team, and some of you stop buying tickets and maybe you don't watch as much, but the overwhelming majority of us still do. I still get excited 7 days before the next game. I still get excited about writing my stat chart. I still get excited about looking at the opponent's game from last week. I still love going online and finding tidbits about everything, in which 80% of it I'll never even use in a broadcast, but it's just a habit. And I got to be done by a certain day with this. I got to be done by a certain day of that. And I still love driving either on my own or on the team bus to the stadium for a home game or road game. I love the marching bands no matter where I go. I love night games at places like Manhattan, Kansas, that I haven't been going to for 30 years, but it's really bleeping cool. And even at Texas Tech, it's awesome, that environment, just as it is at the Swamp and it is LSU and Alabama and Georgia and Penn State, Michigan, and all those places, because no matter what they do, we still are addicted to the game. We're not addicted to the portal. We're not addicted to lawsuits. We're not addicted to judge hunting. We're not addicted to coaches and ADs and presidents and commissioners that lie through their teeth about what's for the good of the game, when in the end it's about what's good for them. And for some reason, I don't care what the starting quarterback at school X makes if it's the fourth quarter of a tie game and he's got to drive 86 yards in the final minute with one timeout, because I want to watch. I don't care what he makes at that moment. I might on Monday, but I don't care at that moment. It's what we live for. Thursdays, it starts the weekend, whether your team's playing or not. It just makes you feel like it's the week for football. And that still is alive and good. I mean, they've tested your support. They've tested your will. They've tested your passion. They've certainly challenged your wallet. And they're going to keep doing it. And yet most of us are going to stay addicted for the many things that I just mentioned before. There's going to be a surprising freshman. There's going to be a great story of someone overcoming struggles. There's going to be that first-year player that you just learned about that's married with a kid that when you peel back what we pay and so forth, you're going to think, what a great story that is. UCF's got a defensive lineman from Sweden. His sister was on the national flag football team that just played in the World Championship. I'm sorry, not his wife. Sorry, not his wife, not sister, wife. It's a great story.
Nice.
UCF's got someone from Bordeaux, France, in wine country, whose family's connected to some of the most historic families in the wine business. There's going to be stories like that. There's going to be a walk-on that's going to make a game-winning catch. There's going to be a walk-on kicker that's going to hit a 54-yard field goal. There's going to be a kid who's going to miss it, and in this horrific world of social media, will be threatened. We don't need that stuff, but I wish that would go away, but it won't. You love your coach, you'll hate your coach. You want him fired, you'll want the next guy to be hired. You think you know exactly who you want to be the next coach. You're not going to get that person. You're going to win a game you're not supposed to win. You're going to lose a game you're not supposed to lose. You're going to scream about it to your friends on a text chain, and the next week again, get up and do it all again. For 12 games over the course of 13 or 14 weeks, college football, just like the NFL, but it's different. It takes you on a totally different journey. I use that word a lot. The NFL, despite what's happened in college football about paying players, it's a different game. It is a corporate game at the highest level. No matter what we think we made college football into, it ain't the NFL, baby. It's not. The NFL laughs at most of what happens in college football. Whether a kid played on an NFL roster in a preseason game last week or not, you're not going to watch less. You might hate LSU more, but in a way, Lane Kiffin loves it. Every good action movie needs a hero and a villain. I mean, Kiffin's the perfect Bond villain, for crying out loud. But we keep coming back. I said this, college football, it's a great American soap opera. The SEC is the best of all of it, and nothing compares. Nothing. The National Football League doesn't have storylines like college football does. You don't have the same hatred. I mean, the Giants and the Cowboys may have a hatred to a degree, and the Eagles, but it's just different. Nobody views a rivalry game like you do in college football. On a day that your team wins and your rival loses, you just feel a little bit better about yourself. On a day that your team loses and your rival wins, the food stinks. But come on, man. If your team plays at noon and 3:30 and you win, and you get home and there's 20 games on from 7 o'clock until 1 a.m., isn't that the greatest feeling as a sports fan? Right? Your team won. The scroll, although they're getting rid of that on ESPN during it, the scroll, your score comes up. There's a highlight on a halftime show of your team that won, and you're sitting back watching 20, 30 games with the most powerful piece of electronic in your hand of just going from game to game. And then you get the circle and the stream that doesn't work. But it's the best. The anticipation all day because your team's playing one of those late games. You can't wait. When it gets a little bit cooler, even in Florida, you just feel like, oh, wow, seasons change. You go on the road, you travel to see your team in a hostile environment where you're treated not great, but there's something about that that's also great. The game has its challenges. It is going to continue to have its challenges because the adults in the room are sadly like the rest of us most of the time. We always think that we'd make the right decision in challenging moments, but it's easy to be persuaded by individuals that have agendas. Everything that's happened in college football that has become a struggle, it's about agendas. I don't want rules because I want to win. I want rules that favor me. I don't care about everybody else. What's good for me? Sadly, it mirrors everything in society. Everything in society. But the game is still the game. Players you've never heard of, players that are at your school for 6 months, you're now going to root for because they wear a piece of laundry that you love, that you grew up loving, that you went to the school and still love today, that you passed down generations to your kids because you love it. Don't ask why. It's part of your DNA. It's what makes Saturdays the best. Sunday, it's going to be there in the NFL. It's there, but it's different. But Saturdays in college football are unique because of all the games, which is another reason why you should really pray this never break away. There's still something beautiful of action on Tuesday. There's still something beautiful of all the other games that are on all these channels at noon and 3:30 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8:30 and 10 o'clock. There's something beautiful about that. Don't make it a smaller group that there's fewer games to care about because it's part of what college football is. So on this first day, where there's not really a significant game that you really care to watch, but on this first day of 2026, let's do the same thing that we did last year and the year before. We moaned and groaned about a lot of things in the offseason. It made it out to be so gloomy and doomy, and the sport is in the wrong direction. And let's pause and go, you know what? There'll be plenty of time to talk about that. But everything you love about this sport is still there. They've tried to tinker with it. They've tested your loyalty. They've tested your fandom. But you still are addicted to this game for the right reasons. There's landmines you try to avoid, but for the right reasons, you're still addicted to this game. You still think your team can have a special season. So on the first day of 2026 college football season, let's think about the good stuff in college football. There's plenty of time to think about the other stuff. We'll do a history lesson next. Hey, our friends at Gold Key Roofing have been in business for 51 years. 51 years, and still owned by the Hewitt family, still right here in Orlando. This is their home. So when it comes to a roofing company, think of our friends at Gold Key Roofing, respected within the industry, including some of the people that want to compete with them. Online at goldkeyroofing.com. Licensed, locally owned, big job, small job. There when you need them. It's Gold Key Roofing. How loud are my grapes?
How loud?
No. Yeah, hold on.
Good Lord.
Isn't that annoying? Yeah, Mr. Pretzel.
I'm going to get my bag.
Yep. Man.
I'm all out of pretzels.
Getting a credential and being able to broadcast at Acrisure Stadium, not the Bounce House, Pittsburgh. Not easy. I mean, wow. That's where UCF plays second game of the year. Not easy. Man. All right. Oh, look at that. There it is. There it is. Tropical Storm Dolly. There it is. Unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
Can I give you something to look forward to tomorrow?
Look forward to tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my stud of the week.
Yeah.
Got a call, like a clip.
A what?
A clip to play.
Okay.
My stud of the week.
Yeah.
Taking a page out of your book. Call that a tease.
So like you're playing a play-by-play clip?
Could be.
Okay. All right. I don't know, well, I mean, I guess if Tua starts, how many quarterbacks that'll start week one will throw a pass this weekend in the NFL? I don't know if everybody's not playing. I don't know that.
I don't know.
Am I back on now?
You're back on now.
Yeah, Chris was ripping the audience, so I turned the mic off.
Anyone who says that the listener should have given the girl some money, ridiculous.
Oh, the email earlier.
That was a pretty good email, though.
Gotta ask my wife that one tonight.
What do you think she'd say?
I think my wife would probably think he gives something. I think.
I haven't hit a casino in a long time.
No?
I usually love blackjack. Blackjack, craps, and roulette are my games. Still kind of a novice.
The last
though.
time you played. You know, some of the texters, as a fellow
As a
gambler,
fellow gambler, like Troy McClure.
you might know me from my days as Roll the Dice, the TV show that taught you to play.
It's probably been
Clearly before you
Six.
moved back here.
6 or 7 years.
Remember where you were?
Nope. I used to hit the Victory Casino cruise
Uh-huh.
when I went to Colombia when we got my daughter baptized.
Yeah.
We had a casino in the hotel.
Oh, yeah?
Did not gamble.
Yeah. All right. Well, Hard Rock's fine. Nothing wrong with the Hard Rock.
That's actually probably the last casino I went to. Was the Hard Rock.
Was it? The Hard Rock in Fort Lauderdale is really. And now the new Hard Rock Hotel in the Vegas Strip that's replaced the Mirage is really nice. Not open yet, but building it. What do you play? Blackjack?
Blackjack, craps, and roulette.
When you play craps, do you do the old?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'd like a 2x4 to the head.
Well, you don't want to touch the dice after it's been spit on?
Oh, God. I can't stand that person. The worst. Just the worst. The roulette table's hilarious. I haven't played roulette in a while, but I used to play roulette. And now, the I don't know the last time I've seen a roulette table, but
I imagine it hasn't changed.
But it doesn't just show you, the last number of spins. It's got every statistical thing to break down, in the last X number of spins, how many have been odd, even, all sorts of stuff, right?
I feel like it's just getting in people's heads.
Well, that's all it is.
Yeah.
I mean, the randomness, but people, no. Okay.
Let's follow the data. What does the data say? See, analytics.
Yeah.
Outside of sports, ruining everything.
Yeah. Up next, I wonder the age of the person spinning the ball, a little bit up there, the wrist is not as good, more likely to land on. Or if you're playing roulette, and there's always one jackass that has bet like every number but 3. Dude, you're betting against yourself so much here.
Right.
And they go, we hit it. I know you just lost $600 there and you just won 400 here. Like, what?
All right, here we go.
All right, boys and girls, take a seat and listen up as we take a trip down memory lane with Marc Daniels in this week's history lesson.
Well, here's the history lesson this week with the start of the college football season today, final week of the preseason for the NFL. We're going to go back, and today's history lesson looks at something that is part of the fabric of a football. And 1914 may be the earliest that someone recognizes. Chris, you won't know the name of Felix LaForce.
Of course I know that name.
You do?
No.
Felix LaForce was a captain, fullback, and kicker for Hamilton College. In 1914, there's a photo that shows Felix LaForce creating a mound of dirt. Not a big mound of dirt, like a couple of inches off the ground. Do you know what he did with that mound of dirt? Can you guess?
Did he put a rubber on the top of it?
He put the ball on there, and it's thought to be the first type of tee used to kick a ball. The elevated ball would allow the ball to get air quicker. In 1916, Auburn's Moon Duckett, perfect name in 1916, right? Moon Duckett, kicked a 40-yard field goal against Georgia. Rather than building a tee with dirt, which, by the way, had been common in rugby when it came to kicking the ball, Duckett kicked the ball off his holder's floppy helmet, the leather helmet that was used. There was no rule that said you couldn't do that. Amos Alonzo Stagg claimed that Wisconsin had stock-baked clay tees on the sideline for their kickers. The Rules Committee banned artificial tees in 1917. But then, with the onset of huddling, game officials became more watchful, and in 1924, they banned all tees, and all holders had to return to their former duty. You couldn't use anything. And it stayed that way. The NFL in 1941 allowed the kicking tee to be used. The NFL came first in college football in 1948. Well, with the approval of tees, people got creative. There were all sorts of things that were invented. The kicking tee had what you may know as the base and then two almost spike-like objects the ball could rest on. The other tee that was used was a circle, and then at the top was another circle to balance the ball on there. That had no two spikes behind it. Those are the two most common tees that were used in the late 40s and into the 1950s. But over the years, tees began to develop. The Stolle kicking tee, invented by Skip Stolle, who was an assistant football coach. The Lou the Toe Groza, one of the great kickers ever, also was part of the Stolle tee. It helped kickers elevate and get greater distance on the ball. But once again, the NFL and college football felt like it was becoming too much of an advantage. So they banned some devices and tried to get some sort of uniform tee to be used. Limited number of field goals led to the both pro and college game to go back and review the type of tee that was being used. And by the mid to late 50s, there began to be a little bit more uniformity when it came to using kicking tees, although there were as many as 40 different type of tees that were out there being used. Kicking tee, the boot and bend kicking tee, the Cushman rubber kicking tee, the Frazier featherweight kicking tee, all sorts of things that were allowed. The NCAA approved a couple of different tees based on how high off the ground, some 2 inches, even 3 inches, before they began to get some uniformity. Kicking tees were designed well into the 70s and 80s. Jan Stenerwood, one of our great kickers, helped with some of the technology of the kicking tee. Soccer-style kickers also led to a different run of kicking tees. After being the straight-on kicker for many, many years, the soccer-style kicker came along. The three-prong tee remains the most popular kicking tee. Known as the Ground Zero model, not because of 9/11, but a former Cornell kicker, who was a straight-on kicker, was behind the technology and marketing of that tee. Over the years, the National Football League and college football limited how high that tee could be. In 2006, the NCAA reduced the height of the kickoff tee from 2 inches to 1 to limit the number of touchbacks. For a number of years in college football, you had, for a field goal extra point, the tee that was used to place the ball down. And as we begin a new season, there are a couple of different companies that make kicking tees, but the NFL tee and the college tee are pretty similar these days. Of course, college football and the NFL have designed ways to not get as many touchbacks, more than the National Football, obviously, with the way we've changed the kickoff rules. College football has yet to follow that, but there's a different way for the NFL to deal with now guys kicking 70-yard field goals. The K-ball, of course, is what we've often talked about in the National Football League. But it's funny to go back and take a look at the history of the kicking tee. It used to be simple, and if you were a kid like me in the backyard, you'd use the heel of your sneaker and you'd just kind of kick in the ground, right? And your mom or dad would yell, "What are you doing?" And how cool was that? You know, your backyard or where you were playing, you make that little area in the grass, you put the tee down. Nothing more embarrassing. You're feeling pretty good. Put your hand up like a kicker, right? And you go up and hit a ground ball to the guy standing 10 yards in front of you, right? They asked me to kick once in practice, that big 1 year that I played. Yeah, on purpose, wasn't good. Didn't want that job. Yeah. By the way, we never kicked an extra point that freshman year. We didn't have a kicker. We had a lineman that kicked off. Like a line drive. I think he hit the front line of the return team like 6 times during the year. You know, back then the kicker was at the 40. You know, it's like they're starting at our 43. We couldn't get the ball airborne at all here, and we didn't go over the onside kick. Anyway, but the early days of the kicking tee, just imagine You come out for play, and the kicker is on the ground trying to gather dirt to elevate the ball to let it get a little bit further. So as the new year begins, think back better than 100 years back, what many believe is 1914, some of the earliest pictures that anybody can remember of when a kicker looked for the advantage. Felix LaForce at Hamilton College in 1914 raised that dirt, and others quickly followed before the kicking tee became the norm to help those get the ball elevated and get distance. That's today's history lesson. We're back to put a wrap on the Thursday show next. Weekend is upon us. Maxine's on Shine invites you to join them and celebrate magical dining, which continues all across Central Florida. Some of the best restaurants take part in this annual event, and Maxine's on Shine is always among the best because 3-course meal for $40. They don't go cheap on portion sizes either, and they don't go at all cheap when it comes to menu options. Some places offer you a couple of appetizers, maybe 3 main dishes, and 1 or 2 desserts. And Maxine's on Shine, a half dozen appetizers, a half dozen main dishes, and 4 or 5 different desserts to choose from. Optional wine pairing. You can even upgrade some of the dishes that you've got at Maxine's on Shine. So the best thing to do is go to their website, maxinesonshine.com. You can see the menu for Magical Dining. Click that on and see for yourself. You don't have to do Magical Dining, but it's something you want to think about and take great advantage of. 3-course meal for $40. maxinesonshine.com, 337 North Shine Avenue. Make that reservation. Visit our friends at Maxine's on Shine. What? What froze?
Log just froze. I don't know what to do here. All right, so let's just talk on air until this.
Oh, like on air?
Yeah. So I'm going to put us in one. So
All right.
we're on air, I think.
So we're on air?
I think so.
So what happened?
I don't know. The log froze.
So we're not just on the stream, we're on air.
I believe so.
Wow, what'd you do?
Don't blame me. Look, you can see the log for yourself.
Wow, Chris broke it. So what happens when our show ends? Do I have to stay on?
I have no idea. I'm about to text Frank right now.
Jim Harbaugh says Justin Herbert's playing tonight.
Oh, there you go. There's one.
Okay. So the computer just froze on you like that,
Yep.
huh? Okay.
I have no idea what to do. It just crapped out on me.
By the way, of course, Lane Kiffin is in the new Dr. Pepper commercial for college football, where the boss, who plays the police officer, pulls him over for making an illegal lane change.
Wow.
Talk about the irony. Huh? How great is that?
Wow.
Oh, man. Wow. Yeah. Chili's is opening its first ever location on a golf course, taking over DeBell Golf Club in Burbank and creating a clubhouse with Chili's menu items and limited rollback merchandise. So you make the turn, pick a little baby back. Huh?
Do they still have BOGO drinks?
Who?
Chili's.
They did BOGO.
Yeah.
Was it like a happy hour or something?
I thought it was all day, every day.
I don't know. I haven't been to a Chili's in a while.
I haven't either.
Oh, Chris will love this. A 6-part Nick Saban documentary. Chris is a big fan of documentaries.
Hell, I don't even think we're on air right now.
No?
I
Really?
have no idea.
Well, we're on a stream, so I need to keep talking for that.
Yeah.
All right. Chris is going to go figure out what's going on, but apparently we may have some technical issues. We did get a couple of things in the National Football League. Leonard Williams gets a 3-year, $90 million extension with the Seahawks. The Colts, off the PUP list, Alec Pierce comes back, their top wide receiver. And the Browns are letting Cedric Tillman go.
No air.
Your mic's up, by the way. Oh, it was up. So that's some news there. NFL, we mentioned the preseason tonight. Got a few games. Chris and I talked about this earlier. Falcons play the Dolphins tomorrow night at Hard Rock Stadium. Tua is expected to be the starting quarterback in the game for the Falcons. We're questioning, would Dolphin fans boo Tua? And I don't, 100% probably not, but probably more than 50%. Because when your team's not good, you look to blame people, and it didn't end well in Miami. So my guess is he will get booed. Michael Penix was asked yesterday about when he thinks he'll be ready. He says he's better, not ready to play in their preseason game, but maybe we'll be ready when the start of the season. Of course, the Bucs and Jags have done the dual practice thing for a couple of days. They'll play tomorrow night in Jacksonville, with not many starters expected to play. I think the Jags, the Jags open up with the Browns at home, at Denver, New England at home, and at Cincinnati, and then Philadelphia. I think the Jags are good. That schedule, you got to beat the Browns. Then Denver, the Patriots at home, at the Bengals, and the Eagles. After 5 games, if they're 3-2, I think the Jags are poised to have a pretty good season. They do have a stretch. They play 4 of 5 games on the road of the Jags. They play in November. They're at Baltimore, at Tennessee, at the Giants, home for Tennessee, and then at the Bears. Winnable games, but 4 or 5 on the road is a really tough stretch. And actually, it's actually 6 of 8 that they play on the road. I do like the Jaguar team, but that schedule on the back end gets really challenging for them. But I think the Jaguars actually are pretty good. Mentioned earlier, Monday Night Talk is back. Scott Frost, a coach and a player, will join us at Miller's Ale House in Waterford Lakes for the return of Night Talk. It's Monday because we've got a Thursday football game. Stuart Mandel, the Athletic, was on yesterday. Reminder, the first Touchdown Club meeting is Monday night. I will not be there because of the radio show, but Monday night, Stuart Mandel is back at, or is back, is the guest speaker, I should say, as the Touchdown Club is back with its first meeting of the year. And then they're back the next Monday. Usually it's a week and then a week off, but Andy Staples is the speaker on September the 8th, which is the night of the Florida State game. So we're going to try to get people in, do the whole, and get people home to watch football. So that's the schedule at the Orlando Touchdown Club. And again, go to OrlandoTDClub.com to get all the details about that. Really good lineup and some guests still to be named for the Touchdown Club this season. Friday show tomorrow, high school football report. A lot of really big games. Week 2. DeLand welcomes one of the best high schools in the country from the Maryland area coming down to play. We'll tell you all about the big high school games tomorrow. Richard Hale, Sports Law segment. Mike O'Donnell talk a little basketball with us, and we got our NFL preview, as well as the weekend review coming up on the Friday show tomorrow. And then into next week again. 1 week from tonight, UCF opens up against Bethune-Cookman. Be a fun night. New tower for a lot of people to see for the first time. Let's hope the weather behaves. We do have a named tropical storm in the Atlantic, of all the things to be called Dolly. Let's hope that doesn't become part of the storyline for next week. Bethune-Cookman, who had a good season last year, lost a lot of key people. Trying to lock in on a quarterback for them, a new quarterback that lost most of their pass catchers last year. But the Knights and Wildcats will open up the season next Thursday night. FSU, of course, on Saturday against New Mexico State. That game, by the way, is on the CW for Florida State and New Mexico State Saturday at 7 o'clock. And then, of course, everybody else gets going next week. So I don't think anybody on radio hears us, but anybody in the stream is watching us as we wind down the show.
I have no idea.
Chris broke it.
Frank is on it.
All right. If you miss any of this program, you can always listen to it on podcast form. Go to where you get your favorite podcasts and type in the Beat of Sports on demand. When there, please subscribe. We appreciate that. And then the show's downloaded, and you can listen whenever you want. I know a lot of you listen in the afternoon or evening sometimes, and you can always go back and watch the video stream of the show by going to our YouTube page, 96.9 The Game Orlando. Click on the logo on the live button, and the video stream is available also for you to watch back anytime that you want. We're back tomorrow for the Friday edition of our program. We'll do the Bridge with Kelly just after 8:30, and then Chris and I are back at 9:30. Hopefully they fix whatever's going on the radio side, but that's it for the video portion of our program. Say goodbye, Chris.
All right.
Bye-bye on the video stream. We'll see you all tomorrow.